Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our Volusion training today. We are doing About Us. And when I say About Us, you guys should recognize that a little bit. If you've been on the internet or have done some shopping online at all, you'll notice that a lot of websites will have this page titled About Us. Let me give you some examples right off the bat. These are just some good examples that I found online. As I've been a shopper too, let me just show you a couple of these so you get an idea of what I'm talking about. Let me show you has anybody here heard of this site right here? They're actually a local company called Jane. This is Janecom. Anybody a Jane shopper here? It's actually a fairly popular site. Okay, they're just kind of like a mostly women's fashion, and I shouldn't even say that. They do a whole lot more than just women's fashion, but that's what they're most famous for. Their headquarters is probably, I don't know, a 10-minute drive just up the street, so they're pretty well known here. They have an About Us page. Let me see if I can find it real quick. It's not way easy to find. Here it is. Actually, no, this is not the one I wanted. This is Go Jane. I want just Jane. See if I can find it here. I can't find it on their normal page. Drives me crazy. Or maybe I can. We'll see. Elaine, you've heard of it before, so are you a shopper then at Jane? Have you shopped their site before? Huh. Actually, don't see it. Try one other thing. I'm just going to skip to the next one. Jane's funny, so let's use this as kind of a teaching moment. Your About Us page on your website is supposed to be a page that's simply dedicated to explaining to everybody who you are and what you're about, and usually it's pretty accessible. It's not so much on Jane, however, they're a little harder to find. Usually an About Us page, although it probably shouldn't be right up here. And when I say right up here, let me just circle that so you guys know what I'm talking about. This section right here is usually more of this is your nav menu, more reserved for products and stuff. So that's not usually a good place for an About Us, although I suppose it wouldn't be the worst place for it. A lot of people's About Us pages are down towards the very bottom of the page. Let me give you a better example. If Jane's not going to be such a good example for us, let's look at this one, which we have used before in other demonstrations. This is ThinkGeek.com, okay? This is sort of a niche website that's dedicated to quote-unquote geeky products, okay? So you'll notice, same story. Up at the top here, you don't see an About Us page, right? What do you guys see up here at the top? They're main categories, right? Shop by category, shop by interest. They're not putting a lot of their informational pages up here. It's more product-based stuff. So what that should mean is for your guys' About Us, it should be on your site somewhere, but generally it's down here kind of at the bottom. Let's see if we can find it here. And sure enough, we can. There is their About Us page. Okay, so based on that, how important is the About Us page to them? You know, it's there. It's in their footer, and that's what I would recommend for you guys. Have an About Us page on your site, but just simply have it down in the footer of your site because it's not really that important in comparison to a lot of the other stuff that you want people clicking on, okay? So somebody who's here live with me, what's the point of an About Us page? Why even have one? Who even cares? Do people even click on it? Give me some feedback based on your experience. Do you ever look at it when you're shopping? I'll ask you that. I'll tell you what I do. I don't really shop to the point where I feel like I need to click on an About Us page. I have my main places. I'll shop on eBay and Amazon. If I find a site that's a little more niche that I haven't heard of, there's definitely a possibility that I'll click on it. But I don't as much. Yeah, I agree, Horace. It definitely instills some confidence, and that's why it's got to be there. Cindy looks occasionally. Yep. Enough people do, and suffice it to say, everybody, enough people do that you should have one. There's no question about it. Now, these guys, let me show you their About Us page real quick. Okay, we'll use this as kind of the basis of our discussion here. The About Us page is supposed to give someone some information about who you are as a company. Okay, that's why they're clicking on it. They're curious about who's behind the mask here, who's selling me this stuff, and what are they all about. Well, take a page out of the book of ThinkGeek's About Us page, and notice what they do right up here at the top. They give you basically their mission statement. Okay, it says ThinkGeek is obsessed with creating and sharing unique and authentic product experiences that stimulate our fans' imaginations and fuel their geek core. That's their mission statement right there. So the first thing you guys need to consider, and I'll leave this up. We'll talk more about this here in a second. But when you're doing an About Us page, you need some kind of a mission statement. Okay? What's a mission statement, guys? It's what you do, right? ThinkGeek says that they're in the business for giving you product experiences that fuel your inner geek, right? That's their mission statement. Your mission statement can't be that you're selling online to make money for yourself, right? That doesn't work very well as a mission statement, but that can be part of your narrative. So notice below this, okay, here's their mission statement, and although they don't blatantly and explicitly label it as such, that's what it is. And then as you scroll down a little bit, they tell a little bit about their story as a company. Okay, since 1999, ThinkGeek has been on a mission to create a world where everyone can embrace their inner geek and connect with one another. So they say they've been around since 1999. Why do they say that, guys? Why do they cite 1999? 1999, believe it or not, was a while ago, wasn't it? 17 years ago. Is that a good thing? Yeah, it builds a reputation, doesn't it? It's basically saying, hey, we're not new here. We've done this for a while. In fact, we've been in business for 17 years. Now, let me ask you guys a question. If you're just developing out a website, should you say something like, since November of 2015, blah, blah, blah. Or, hey, we just launched back in February of 2016. So even though we're new, blah, blah, blah. Probably not, right? I don't know if having the date is something that will actually instill confidence or destroy confidence when you're so new. So my recommendation to you guys is let's not cite the date. See, if you understand the purpose of an About Us page, the whole point is to tell the reader or the customer about who you are as a company, why you're here, and if you have anything that you feel is going to build credibility in your company and in your brand, whether it's that you've been to so and so or such and such a niche related event, or you've won an award in such and such, or you have a you have a booth in a global trade show, or whatever, right? Anything that makes you stand out or makes you look like you know what you're doing, that's a good thing. You can have that on your About Us page. So that's my barometer. I mean, I've been asked over the years to evaluate countless About Us pages, and as I'm reading it through, I just simply ask myself the question: does this instill confidence, or does this take confidence away from me being a potential buyer? Okay, does it make me trust you more or not? And if it does, it's content worth keeping. But to direct you a little bit and just to make it simple on you, you should have a simple mission statement like the one we just looked at right here. And then I'm not going to read all of this to you, but that basically tells the story of how they came to be, how they started, and why they started. So do you guys need to do that and get super personal? No. That's a question I get a fair bit. It's like, well, great. But my story is that I had been in the restaurant industry for 25 years, and I finally wanted a change in my life, so I started an e-commerce business. And by the way, my name is Trevor Ship, and blah blah blah. Do you have to tell your life story? No, definitely not. In fact, most of my clients prefer not to say anything about themselves on a personal level. They'll just say, "Hey, we're in the jewelry business because we are dedicated to bringing beautiful, authentic jewelry at affordable prices to our customers." Boom. That's your mission statement. Underneath that, you might have a little story about how you got started. You might say something about how, being jewelry lovers for all these years, we found it difficult sometimes online to find a great source that sold legitimate jewelry that didn't cost an arm and a leg. So we went out and we sourced some of the very best suppliers over the internet and across the world, and we put together, myjewelrystore.com, because it's, so you tell a little story like that doesn't say anything about you individually, but just kind of talks about the vision and how you got started. What if you don't have some great elaborate story? Then just go with a mission statement and maybe share it is what you want to sell and what you're trying to accomplish with the website. Okay, so just to summarize here, we want a mission statement, tell your story, and can I just put honestly, don't maybe overhype your story or say stuff that's not true. make it legitimate. So tell your story, and if number 3 doesn't fall into your mission statement, tell us what you sell and why you sell it. This part right here, all of you guys can do. Okay, this part right here, all of you guys can do. So I would at least have 1 and 3 in your About Us page content. Okay. Now let me ask you a question. Should you post a picture of yourself on your About Us page? What do you guys think? Yay or nay? Let's look at ThinkGeeks here. Okay, they have a little manifesto right here, what they believe in. They don't show any pictures. I really wish I could find the Jane one. See if I can find it while we're talking here. Oh, here we go. Found it. I don't know why I couldn't find this before. Okay, let me show you Jane's About Us page. Okay. So it starts like this. It says Janecom is a boutique marketplace featuring the latest in women's fashion trends, home decor, and children's clothing. Okay. That tells us exactly what Jane is all about, doesn't it? Is it a mission statement like we're talking about here? Not really, but it definitely tells us this, doesn't it? By the way, let me answer that question about should you put your picture on it here in just a second. Our story. Okay. providing the most high-end products for the most trusted or from the most trusted companies to the most loyal customers is not just a mission, it's a promise. With a highly structured selling platform and multiple integrations, Jane.com provides both online sellers and brick-and-mortar shops with the perfect marketplace to showcase their boutique, and creates an attentive audience for new innovative products. Okay, that's more like their mission statement, right? That's their mission. Now, they share information about their staff, but they do it in kind of a fun, creative way. Here's their staff right here. This might scare you a little bit, but it looks like a bunch of kids are running this company, right? They're just having fun with it. They're showing their entire staff of employees, but they're just doing it with pictures of when everybody was a kid, right? That's kind of fun, right? Now, does it instill trust and confidence if you show your picture? It could. But if you're the sole proprietor, if you're the only person running the company right now, and you just put a picture of you as the CEO and founder, I'd say it's up to you, but I'd probably leave it off at this stage. I think it looks much more professional when you're bigger and maybe you have some people working for you to put some pictures of your staff. At this stage, I probably wouldn't. Although there's arguments out there that say, it would make it a little more personable or whatever, but I don't know. I would say maybe leave off your picture. Don't put on a picture of your family or your house or your dog or your cat, right? I would leave all the personal pictures off, and I would keep it pretty short and professional. Your About Us page shouldn't take you longer than a few minutes to write and be done with. When you're a brand new site, you don't have a lot of stuff to offer. You don't have a big list of pictures of employees, right? You don't have an elaborate startup tale, not yet anyway. So, if you do have some credentials in your field, let's say you're selling model trains and you've been a collector of model trains for, 30 years. Yeah, you can maybe show some pictures of some of your initial model trains that got you excited about starting that business. But, play it on a case-by-case basis. If you want to do it just as simply and easily as possible without a lot of fuss and creativity, and I think it's totally and completely adequate to do it this way, then this is what you want. Your mission statement, maybe number 2, if you feel like you've got a story to tell about how and why you got started, and then 3, tell us what you sell and why you sell it. That's it. Now, I might add number 4 here, and I would probably prefer you do this. I would say number 4, include your contact information or a link to your contact page, okay? That's what I would do. And we'll do an example of that here momentarily. Guys, are we all on the same page here? Does this make sense so far on what an About Us page is for and what we'd want on it? We all on the same page so far? Right, the point is build credibility if we can, but if we're new, have just enough information there to where we certainly don't lose any credibility, right? Okay, let me show you an example then. Now, a lot of you guys, when you are building your website, you may have an About section at the bottom. Sometimes it's called Company Info, okay? Listed right here. So if you have an existing Company Info page, you could probably go in and just simply edit that. Okay, let me click on it real quick. Okay, here's your Company Info page. Now you'll notice if I'm logged into my Volusion account, I get this edit box that goes around it. I could click on edit here at the right-hand side, and I could change all of this up, right? Mission statement. Let me put in my mission statement right here, right? Right there's my mission statement. Our story. right? If it applies, if you've got a little story you want to share, there we go. There's your story, right? And then what do we offer? Maybe I could have, this is where I list out, we sell and offer some of the very best in jewelry and makeup and women's consumer products, and I might write it out right here, okay? And then I might have a section below this that's like, need to contact us, please email at whatever, test@email.com, or call us at, right, whatever. Make up a fake number there. Right, this is an appropriate structure for your About Us page. I could save that, and there we go. We've got one set up. Nothing flashy, nothing fancy, no pictures, right? No elaborate manifesto like ThinkGeek has, but we've got the basics there. It's not the prettiest thing to look at, but that doesn't matter. Okay, people are just looking for some information about you. Okay, so that's one way to do it. Also, sometimes these pages right here, if you need to edit them, you can find them if I go into the back end under this Manage Store option, and I come here to Design and then Site Content. Sometimes I can find it here to edit. I'll click on Site Content. And your About Us page may actually be listed here somewhere. Oh, there it is. It's listed under number 1 on this particular site under company information. So I scrolled down a little ways, right? Scroll, and here it is, About Us. And this is that information I just created. So you could actually click on the number 1 and come in here and edit this a little bit differently, where you can format some things and, and change some things up if you want. This would be another example of where you could edit it, okay? Okay, let's save that. But let's say you didn't have an About Us page here. Let's pretend for just a minute that this company info wasn't there at all, and we needed to actually create a page. We've done this in our other trainings, but I'll just do it again with you guys real quick. This should start looking familiar. I'm going to go Inventory and Categories, and this is how I'm going to do it, okay? I'm going to come here and I'm going to add a new category, and I'm going to call this category About Us, all right? And I'm going to put it in my nav menu. And I'm going to come down here to Advanced Info, and under Product or Category Descriptions, I'm going to put in my mission statement here. I'll do the Our Story here. Okay. And then I'll do what do we sell right here. And then I'll do our Contact Us right here. Okay, so I can write out my content for my page. However you want to format that is fine. And I'm going to save it, okay? Once I've done that, assuming I've put it here in Nav Menu 1, and can I just circle this? I'm going to circle it in pink here so it stands out. Your Nav Menu 1 needs to be selected here. Here we go. This right here. You need Nav Menu 1 selected, okay? So it actually shows up in your navigation menu. All right? So now we're going to come out to our site. Here it is. It's sitting up in your nav menu. We don't want to keep it there. We just need a reference for it. So I click on it, and here's the information for the page. I'm going to come all the way up here now to this address right here, which I'm circling in pink. Okay, see that address right there? I'm going to copy it, okay? Copied. And after I've got it copied, I'm going to now pull this About Us page out of the navigation menu. So I'm going to edit the category, and I'm going to come back in here and just change this to select. Show in menu, it's back to select now. That actually pulls it out. So you notice that it's gone here. But I've still got the address of the page copied that I created, right? So I'm going to come right down here under this About Us section. I'm going to edit it. Right here, put in About Us. Just like that. But I'm going to change the link on it. Right? So I'm just going to click on the top of it. Actually, let me just save it first. I'm going to click that check mark or that checkbox first. So here it is. It's not linked to the right place, so I'm going to edit it. And I'll just highlight it. And I'm going to edit this little chain link option right here, okay? Edit link. It's not an email. It's a URL right here. I'm going to paste in my URL and insert, okay? Don't forget to do this, but after I've done that, I need to click the little check mark. Once I click check mark, the About Us is now created. And if I were to click on that, that would take me over to my new About Us page. Now, this is only necessary if you don't have a template company info created already. In this case, we did. But I'm just showing you guys, in case you didn't, how you'd go about creating that About Us. All right? Okay, I know we went quick there. I've done that in other trainings, so I figure I won't belabor that point. Does that make sense, guys? Do you now feel like you could go effectively create an About Us page? And if not, tell me what we can cover in a little bit more detail. I'll give you a minute to respond if you've got any questions about it, and then otherwise we'll go ahead and finish up. Take a minute. Good. I'm getting good feedback from most of you guys. I mean, it's pretty simple. I think I extrapolated this out more than it even needs to be. Please, just as a recap, keep it simple and do what we explained here. Okay? And you should be good. And with number 2 being optional. You can build this page up as you gain more clout and credibility as a company. I mean, we don't have a lot to say about ourselves right now because, after all, we're still brand new. But in time, you're going to have more to share. You're going to have awards to share. You're going to have pictures of things, maybe a picture of your office someday, a picture of people you've hired. That's what this page becomes about. But not yet for a lot of you. Okay? All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming along. I hope this was helpful. Let's get our About Us pages on our site. As a reminder, the information pages you guys should be working on and need to have on your site prior to launch are your About Us. You need your Contact Us. You need a shipping page. You need a returns page. Okay? Those are your core pages right there. If you can have those pages on in addition to your normal products and your categories and your normal homepage, you're just about there. All right? Okay. Thanks, everybody. We will see you next time.